Good evening. Welcome to UNSW Law. Thank you for joining us this evening at the Law Admission Test Information Evening. My name is Dr. Catherine Bond. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Studies here at UNSW Law. I'd like to begin today's proceedings by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land, the Bidjigal people, on which we are gathered, and paying my respects to their elders past and present. And I'd also like to particularly welcome any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders people here today. And to everyone, welcome to UNSW, and specifically welcome to UNSW Law. So the focus of the presentation today will be the Law Admission Test, or LAT, as we like to call it. And we'll be discussing the admission procedure and key dates, and we'll end with a Q&A session, including questions that were submitted during the registration process as well. But before we jump to that, I'd like to give you a quick overview of our law school and what undergraduate law is like for school leavers. So, why study law? The simple answer, but the most significant, is that law opens up a whole range of opportunities. Working as a lawyer can mean many different things to many different people. Many people imagine working as a lawyer involving clever courtroom tactics, closing multi-million-dollar property deals, defending high-profile murder trials, advising on corporate takeovers, or prosecuting those accused of organised crime. That type of law that you kind of see a lot in movies and TV shows and in the media. In fact, working as a lawyer can involve everything from drafting a will to drafting an international treaty, from being responsible for the conveyance of a studio apartment to the conveyance of an office tower, from advising on the purchase of a local corner store to working on a takeover at Google. It can involve acting for an individual who has lost his or her job to acting for an international labour organisation. It can involve advising on a specific section of the Dividing Fences Act, or developing policy, advising on amendments to the Australian Constitution. The examples are literally infinite. And basically, lawyers can be and are involved in every area of life. You might just not recognise them. Thinking like a lawyer as well can mean an extremely broad array of things. Generally, this is taken to mean thinking analytically, critically, precisely, carefully. Being able to solve problems, being able to see things from different perspectives, and being able to argue persuasively, and being able to present the best case. UNSW Law sees thinking like a lawyer to involve all those things, but also to involve an understanding of society. So strict legal rules and rationales have their place, but must be learned and used within the broader context of the real world, not just what the law is, but does the law work? So, for example, I teach intellectual property, and in that course, one of the issues that we look at is the very prevalent issue of online piracy and copyright infringement. The law prohibits illegal downloading of movies and TV shows and music. But online piracy is a bigger issue than people simply wanting things for free. It also intersects with issues like market segmentation and economics and technological capability and access. So we look at those broader questions to see whether the law is doing what it should be doing, or if it needs to be changed. How does the law work? How should it work? Does it make for a better society? Does it impact different groups of society in different ways? Could it be improved? These are all part of the broader considerations and the kind of questions that we believe are part and parcel with thinking like a lawyer. So why UNSW Law? UNSW Law is consistently and continually ranked amongst the top 15 law schools in the world. Our research has consistently received the highest possible ranking under the Australian Government Excellence in Research ratings. We pride ourselves on our small group teaching, which was part of the law school from its inception a little over 40 years ago, and we continue that tradition to this day. When you start at UNSW Law, you're in classes of sizes that you're used to in high school. We pride ourselves on continuing that. We also offer more clinics and internships than any other Australian law school, and that is part of our commitment to ensure that thinking like a lawyer includes understanding society and different segments of society. We prioritise experiential learning, so our students don't just learn about law, but they put law into action. So you might like to say that we encourage our students to think outside the box, and when it comes to your future career, there are also a number of options available. We also pride ourselves on our curriculum. We have been thought leaders in legal education since the inception of the law school, and we consider ourselves to be changers in law and legal work. UNSW Law sets international benchmarks. We have interactive classrooms that feature both small group teaching and impressive online models, and we are engaged, active and international. UNSW Law is a cross-section of strong doctrinal traditional areas of law meeting new areas of technology. Now, the law doesn't exist in a vacuum, and nor do you undertake your law degree in a vacuum either. We offer 25 dual degrees, ranging from everything from music to computer science to arts to economics to commerce. And the range of our degrees can be found on the slide or on our website. This is an example of what life at UNSW Law, being a UNSW Law student, looks like. In the first few years, we ease you into your law degree, training you up in that critical legal thinking that you require to think like a lawyer. And then as you proceed, you move past your core courses into your electives, where you can choose from our impressive array of both national and international law elective choices. When you move into those later years, you're also able to avail yourself of our UNSW Law Careers Service. We offer our Law Careers Service as one of the first of its kind in Australia. The service modelled on the established and highly successful model of career offerings at US law schools, where career services and preparation for the workforce are viewed as key and integral components of the student experience. The service helps our students maximise their chances of finding and landing a rewarding job when they graduate. And the service provides information, it answers questions that students might have about careers, employers, the jobs market, and how to navigate the competitive application process. So, let's take it back to the beginning and talk a little bit more about the UNSW Law Admission Test. We introduced the LAT in 2016, with the first students undertaking the LAT last September for entry into our program earlier this year. The LAT is a written test that is basically used to determine or allows you to demonstrate your aptitude and suitability for studying undergraduate law at UNSW. In addition to your academic results, e.g., so for example, your LAT, your ATAR and additional points, these are combined with your LAT score in our selection process to allow us to better differentiate between the many high-achieving applicants in law. And the test has been developed in conjunction with ASA, the Australian Council for Educational Research. We introduced the LAT, or we made the decision to introduce the LAT for a number of reasons. Demand to study law at UNSW is strong, places are limited, and existing measures of academic achievement could only tell us so much about our important applicants. The LAT was therefore introduced to give you the opportunity to further demonstrate your suitability for the law program and allow us to better differentiate between candidates. The LAT aims to improve a student's chances of a place at UNSW Law by demonstrating skills and abilities directly relevant to law studies, and it means that a student doesn't have to rely specifically on their ATAR to gain a place at UNSW Law. So the LAT has allowed us to broaden our assessment of applicants beyond the ATAR system, give students the opportunity to further demonstrate their suitability for our law program in a way that is relevant to the study of law, allow us to better assess all applicants with the results that students are assessed now on the basis of both their academic results and their LAT results. So as I mentioned, the LAT is combined with your LAT score in addition to your academic results, which mean your ATAR plus any additional points, which we'll go into in a minute, are used in our selection process. Your selection rank, being your ATAR and any additional points, are combined with your LAT score on a sliding scale basis. And all students who complete the LAT receive a boost to their selection rank. So the higher the LAT score, the higher the boost, and therefore the higher the chances of admission to UNSW Law. All domestic applicants, so Australian citizens and permanent residents and New Zealand citizens who wish to study an undergraduate law dual degree program at UNSW need to sit the LAT. The LAT is specific to UNSW. You don't need to undertake it to go to another university. So UNSW Law is the only institution that offers the LAT. So you need to take the LAT if you're enrolled in your final year of schooling, your final year of secondary schooling. If you've already completed your secondary schooling and are on a gap year but wish to apply for UNSW Law for admission for 2018. If you are studying at another university and wish to apply to transfer to UNSW Law. And the LAT is also open to Year 11 students who wish to sit the LAT prior to their Year 12 or prior to your HSC year. If you sit the LAT in Year 11, your result is valid for 2 years. So if you sit in 2017, you can use your LAT results to apply in 2019. Okay, so how did it all work for 2017? Approximately 300 offers were made to students, the same number as for entry for 2016 before we introduced the LAT. So law hasn't increased or decreased the number of offers. We've just changed the way that applicants are selected to include the law admission test. And we're very pleased with this outcome, especially given that this was the first time that we've run this new test. Students who previously would not have had the opportunity to study law at UNSW have been admitted this year because they have very good academic results and demonstrated the commitment to UNSW Law and the skills required to study law by sitting the test. So academic results were combined with LAT scores on a sliding scale. All students who completed the LAT received a boost to their selection rank, and the higher the LAT score, the higher the boost, which therefore placed the student higher up in the ranked list. So successful students required a selection rank above 95 and a high LAT score to be successful. The median LAT scores, as are noted up on the slide, the median LAT score was approximately 74 and the median ATAR was approximately 98. Now, moving along to one of our most common, if not the most commonly asked question. How can I prepare? Okay, you'll note the red cross through that word coaching. That is because it came to our attention last year that tuition services were popping up claiming to offer coaching and workshops for the LAT. UNSW Law does not recommend or endorse any commercially available courses offering LAT preparation. Commercial preparation courses, in fact, could provide you with misleading information and advice. There is significant security around the LAT in the same way as there is with the HSC. So when you read claims online for people who purport to know about the LAT, I want you to remember the seriousness of my face and the tone of my voice and what I'm about to say. They do not know any more than you do. In terms of the test itself and preparation, the LAT doesn't require any knowledge specific to law. So HSC legal studies or similar courses will neither disadvantage or disadvantage you when it comes to your performance with the LAT. The majority of questions that we get about the LAT are in regards to preparation, and we understand why you want to know more about this. What we're looking for with the LAT, though, is skills and evidence of skills rather than evidence of knowledge. So there isn't any specific preparation that you can do beforehand. What we suggest is continuing your high school or tertiary study and your regular exam prep if you're doing the HSC, and this by itself will make you feel more comfortable with doing exams and tests that will assist you on the day of the LAT. So one of the things we really suggest is you can access a practice LAT paper online. Note that this is the only practice test that has been made available by UNSW and ACER, so any other alleged practice tests have not been seen or endorsed by us, just to reiterate that point about commercially available practice tests. Well, I like that that's created a buzz. I'll give you a minute to write that link down. So one of the things that you might like to do is undertake a timed test. So undertake the practice test in timed conditions, like you would with the preparation for another HSC exam. And this will allow you to feel more comfortable on the day, so you know what types of questions to expect and how you best perform in going about approaching these questions. So taking a look at the structure of the paper and the instructions that come with the paper will also assist with helping you feel more comfortable with the test on the day. Don't just skim the instructions. It's a law test. The instructions are very important. Read them so you understand what is being asked of you and what is required and how the tasks differ. In terms of structure, you likely already know that the test is 2 hours, and we recommend that you divide your time as you see on the slide above. To feel more comfortable, as I said, one of the things that you can do prior to taking the LAT is that practice paper to the set time in advance. So there's no specific preparation that you need to do or knowledge that you need to have, but undertaking a practice timed run of the LAT ahead of the real test on Tuesday the 26th of September may assist you in feeling more comfortable on the day. So as I mentioned, the LAT contains 2 tasks. Like the HSC, these are written tasks undertaken on the day by hand in writing. Just a few additional points to note about how the LAT interoperates with other UNSW entry. So UNSW Law has not set a guaranteed entry selection rank for our programs in 2018. Admission, as you've probably gathered by now, is on the basis of your academic results and LAT score. We accept AAA bonus points awarded to the ducks of a school and points awarded for long-term educational disadvantage under the EAS scheme, but bonus points for the elite athletes and performers scheme and you at UNSW programs are no longer accepted. So you've sat the LAT, you're awaiting your result, what will you receive? So this statement, the statement that you will receive, will provide a single score in the range of 0 to 100 and a percentile band indicating how you have performed relative to all other candidates who sat the LAT in 2017. A percentile rank indicates how you performed in relation to all other candidates who sat the LAT in the same year. So, for example, a percentile of 42 indicates that your overall LAT score is equal to or better than that of 42% of the candidates who sat the LAT in the same year as you. Your percentile rank is not used to assess you for admission to UNSW Law. Your LAT score is what we will combine with your academic results in the selection process. There's no pass or fail mark for the LAT either. Last November, we received a lot of inquiries from students when LAT results were released, as they were worried that their LAT score was lower than what they expected. Because entry to UNSW Law is so competitive, the students who sat the LAT were hoping for admission were used to getting results at school in the 90s, so when they received a LAT score of, say, 65 or 70, they were understandably upset and confused. But the LAT is attempted by a very small subset of students, and this subset is made up of high achievers to begin with, given that you aspire to study law at UNSW. So LAT scores should not be viewed in the same way as a result for a HSC course. So a LAT score of 70 or 80 or 90 is not like a HSC mark of 70 or 80 or 90. The median LAT score for 27 entry was 74. UNSW Law determines the lowest applicable score from year to year, and this will vary as we continue. For students who are already undertaking tertiary study, either at UNSW or another institution, if you are transferring from within UNSW, you do not need to sit the LAT. You will be assessed on your first year results. If you are transferring from or seeking to transfer from another university, you will need to submit an application to transfer into law at UNSW via UAC, and that will require you to sit the LAT. And students will be assessed on their secondary rank, tertiary rank, and their LAT result. So some key dates. Registration is now open for the LAT. They opened this Tuesday. Standard registrations close Friday the 11th of August at 5 p.m, and immediately a late registration period opens until Wednesday the 6th of September. The LAT test day is Tuesday the 26th of September, and results will be released in mid-November. There is a cost for undertaking the test. On-time registration is $175 with that late registration fee incurred if your application comes in after Friday the 11th of August. If you are eligible for a concession, the registration fee is $100, and the registration fee covers your online registration, materials required for the test, and the provision of your results. So test centres will be available in Sydney, Canberra, Armidale and Dubbo. And if you live in a remote or very remote or interstate or overseas area and not able to travel, you will be eligible for remote invigilation. If you have any questions about remote invigilation, please get in touch with ASA, who will be able to assist you with those requirements. So as I said, registration is now open. You'll need a credit or debit card, photo identification and a valid email address, and that standard registration period closes on the 11th of August 2017. And visit the LAT website at ASA in order to register. So how can you find out more? Register for LAT email updates. You're attending an information event, so you can tick that one off. Visit the LAT website at ASA and visit our UNSW Law website too. And if you can't find the answer that you're looking for, please get in touch with either the UNSW Law LAT or the ASA LAT email address. Now, you'll all have received a flyer about UNSW Law and Entry, and our new 2018 undergraduate guide is hot off the press. So if you visit the website provided, the URL provided, you'll be able to view online, download a copy, or request a hard copy, or, you know, download a copy and request a hard copy to be sent to you. So, please send any questions through to lat@unsw.edu.au. May the 4th be with you, indeed, always.